Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Fleet Street webinar series. My name is Lisa Assetti, and I'm the Director of Marketing here at Daikin, and I'm also your host for today. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Our topic for today is all-season savings with laser guidance solutions. Today, you're going to hear about all the aspects related to laser linear guidance systems, how they make not only operators work painless and stress-free and efficient, but better all around for a fleet manager's job as well. I am joined today by our special guest, Mike Vanneman. He is a great guy, and you'll see here in a few minutes. Daikin has had the privilege of working with LaserLine for more than 15 years now. They are great partners of ours. They are experts in their industry. And Mike is definitely a pro in all things laser guidance. He's a good guy to know, and he definitely knows his stuff. So it's a treat for us to have him with us on the call today. Mike, are you there?
I am here, Lisa.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. And without further ado, I'll let you take over the controls, and we'll get started.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for chiming in today, taking time out of your busy schedules, and also would like to thank Daikin for inviting me to be a part of this. Daikin's been a great dealer of ours. I think, like Lisa said, 15 plus years, and yeah, we really appreciate working with them. So let's see here. I'm trying to go to Lisa, I don't think it's let me go to the next screen here.
Okay. There you are. Now everyone can see our shining, smiling faces there. So I'll skip us forward. There we are. All yours.
All right. Well, my name's Mike Vanneman. I've been working with LaserLine off and on for the past 20 years. I've actually been in this line of business for lasers and machine control for approximately 37 years. LaserLine, just to talk briefly about who LaserLine is, I'm just going to kind of read this out to you. For over 30 years, LaserLine Manufacturing has been a long-standing manufacturer of laser-controlled equipment for construction, surveying, engineering, and governmental agencies. LaserLine manufactures long-range alignment lasers for tunneling, mining, marine, high-rises, and agricultural layout. Our green guidance lasers are used for applications such as wing and tow plows, road striping trucks, water blasting trucks, grinders, pavers, etc. We also make parking lot paint striping machine lasers for parking lot paint striping machines. And just want to point out, all of our products are manufactured here in Redmond, Oregon. So here's basically all the products that we make. I'm not going to go over all of them. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a visual as to what some of our products look like, but I'm sure a lot of you might be familiar with the GL3000 PMC in the upper left-hand corner. Next. All right, pain points. Why accuracy matters. Let's talk about, we're going to talk about these 5 bullet points here. Collision avoidance. Having a laser as a reference in front of you reduces the chances of collisions up to 80 to 100%. So this applies towards mailboxes, signposts, parked vehicles, etc. So bottom line, the GL3000 PMC guidance laser will save you money. Reduce risk and liability. Think about how much it costs to send crews out to repair or replace damaged property. Using a laser will reduce your risk and liability substantially. Case in point, Mike Shurchenko with Daikin yesterday was telling me that a customer in the past mentioned that prior to owning one of our lasers, destroyed 107 mailboxes in 1 year or 1 season. After purchasing one of the lasers and installing it, they greatly reduced that number down to 12. So that kind of gives you an idea of, you know, how well this can work for you. Avoid costly repairs. Bottom line is, plow damage costs you downtime, parts, and labor costs. Time saving. Knowing where your trailing edge is allows you to work more efficient and accurate. This means less passes, therefore it's going to save you time. Reduce stress on drivers. It's proven that operating a wing or tow plow while using a laser is less fatigue on the driver, since he or she no longer has to rely on the passenger side mirror or a wingman. All right. One thing I do want to talk about is this image here. This was actually the very first wing plow that we installed one of our lasers on. His name was Cecil Wrench out of Washington State. One day he called up, I guess he was using our one of our guidance lasers on their road striping truck, on their gun carriage. And he called up and asked if there was any way that we could mount that laser on his wing plow. Well, we didn't even know what a wing plow was, because we're just not part of winter maintenance at that time. So we went up there, we installed the laser up underneath the headache rack with some magnets, and it worked great for like 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden we had ice build up on the front of it. The laser shut off because it was so cold. So yeah, I mean, this started probably 20 plus years ago. And this guy came up with this idea. We brought it back to the shop. We came up with a de-icing front cover, the pneumatic blaster with a valve on the top. And then we worked on it so that, or the laser, so it would sense the temperature, so it wouldn't just shut off if it got too cold. So that's how this laser just kind of, you know, started. So yeah, that being said, I think Lisa has a video here. She's going to show you, kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like from the outside. Well, that was short and sweet. All right, let's go to this next slide. Okay, this is a great picture because it kind of gives you an idea of what the operator is looking at, or the driver. He's, you know, if he doesn't have a laser, he was relying on that side mirror if he didn't have a wing, or doesn't have a wingman. So you can see in that bottom right-hand corner where that mirror, I mean, how can you even tell where your trailing edge is? So that's what's nice about the laser. It's shooting out in your normal field of view out in front. You can see the spot. And as you can see in that picture, if he doesn't, that's letting him know where his trailing edge is before he gets there. So if he doesn't steer off to the left, he's going to bang the back of that flatbed truck. And also, one thing I also want to point out is the worse the driving conditions, the better it seems to work. All right, let's go to the next slide. There we go. So I'm not sure who this is. Mike Shirchenko sent that video to me, and but it gives you a nice visual, especially at night, what the spot looks like. Definitely a nice visual so that you can see where that trailing edge is before you get there. Well, this is kind of a no-brainer. Avoid costly property damage. I mean, you know, if you don't have the laser, a lot of guys are, you know, you greatly increases your chances of hitting parked vehicles or mailboxes or bridge joints. Having the laser reduces property damage so that you don't hit parked vehicles, bridge joints, curb damage, mailboxes, signposts, etc. Okay, I had a dealer a few years ago. I'm not quite sure about these numbers, how accurate they are. And because it was a few years ago, I'm sure that these numbers are probably higher, but it definitely gives you an idea of what it's going to cost you should you have plow damage. I'm sure all of you know what it costs to either replace it or have to repair a moldboard, the push arm kit, wing attachment, cutting edge, all that stuff. Like right here, the parts are just under $10,000, and that's before labor. And that's also not including the downtime of that, the plow just sitting. One thing we take pride in is we build our products to work where you work. So, these lasers, they're encased in like 1/4-inch aluminum housings with, they're hard coat anodized. They're heavy duty. They're also hermetically sealed. And what that means to you guys is they can remain on your plows or your equipment all year round. They can take the elements. If you look at the picture off to the right where it shows a little like a Schrader valve, we purge all the air out of it, and then we fill each laser with 5 to 7 pounds of dry nitrogen. And so they're 100%, I think they're IP68, they're totally sealed. Few things I'd like to go over. The front of the front cover. I mentioned earlier that there was ice buildup on our very first wing plow that we installed a laser on. We no longer have ice buildup due to the heating element that we put in the front cover. So it heats up. You don't get any ice buildup. You don't get any snow buildup. And then as a kind of like a backup, we have it kind of works hand in hand. We have that pneumatic valve up on top, and you tie that into your secondary pneumatic line on your truck, and you get a blast of air every 5 seconds. We also use 3mm military connector. Yeah, you can see that everything's pretty heavy duty. All right, I'm just gonna briefly go over what's included in the kit when you buy it. You get the laser, it comes with the mount. Everything in that picture you do receive. I forgot to put the laser enhancement glasses in there, so those aren't shown, but yeah, you get the laser, you get a control cable that goes in between the laser and the control box, and then you get the control box, and it hooks up to 12 volts, and you get DOT approved pneumatic line, and you get a 5-micron filter kit now, and a manual and some laser warning cards. All right, installation, it's simple. Basically, you just mount the laser up. Some fabrication might be involved unless you purchase some custom brackets from Daikin, which they have a full line of custom brackets. But let's say you had to fabricate your own bracket. Usually crews can have this done within, I'd say 2 hours. So you mount the laser up on top of the truck, you hook up the secondary air supply, you install the 5-micron filter kit, you hook it up to 12 volts, and you calibrate it, and you're ready to go. These are just some in-cab shots of the control box, just so you can kind of get a sense where some operators or drivers mount them. All right, laser alignment. Some people call it laser alignment. Some people call it laser calibration. It's really simple, guys. I'd say it's definitely easier with 2 guys. Basically, you want to line your truck up on a flat surface if possible. And you're going to take, I would say, string line, or if you have a reference that you could roll up on, you want to get, basically what you're doing is you're taking your 2 right side, you want to measure from the outside of the tires and measure up about 60 feet. So let's say you got string line. the upper right-hand corner, you can see the reference line off the edge of the tires. And then what you want to do is you want to measure from that reference line to you want to deploy and put down your wing plow. And you're going to measure from the side out to the trailing edge. So let's just say that's 6 feet. So you go up, you can measure from the front of the plow, whether it's 30, 40, 50, 60 feet, and then decide where you want that spot, and then adjust the laser out 6 feet. And that's going to let you know exactly where that trailing edge is behind. Now, one thing I do want to point out, you can also, if you want to give yourself a little wiggle room, if you don't want it right where that trailing edge is, you can move the spot out even further, and that gives you a little wiggle room to the left. And here's a perfect example of that. So the picture on the left, no offset to trailing edge. Laser spot represents where the trailing edge will pass. So you can see where the spot is, and you can see it's right in line with that trailing edge. Now, if you look at the picture on the right, basically that's the wiggle room I was talking about. You can actually adjust that laser spot outward, and it just gives you a little extra room to work with. Sure, a lot of you guys are familiar with Viking Survey's tow plow. It's a 26 foot cutting edge, just hanging out there. Some people don't know what a tow plow is or have never seen one. And I think if you're behind one and it starts to deploy, it almost looks like it's jackknifing. It's kind of freaky. But the laser mounted up on top of the plow, the tow plow has to be fully deployed to know where that trailing edge is. But it's just a great tool to help that driver determine, where he is. And we have a video that actually shows, it's old and it's grainy, but it does the trick. It definitely shows, gives a good example of what it looks like. This is Minnesota DOT. There it is. It's deploying. Almost looks like it's jackknifing if you're right behind it. So here it is at night, gives you a better idea where the spot is in relation to that trailing edge. See, those conditions are pretty bad. Can you see the laser line going to the spot? That's kind of fun. All right. Let's talk about some other applications. Daikin is definitely thinking outside the box. We're the manufacturer. We mostly sell to dealers, and well, that's all we sell to our dealers. And I would say Daikin is definitely on the cutting edge, and they think outside the box for other applications other than just putting our laser on a wing plow. So that being said, here's one. It's an airport runway sweeper. So you can see that this is a camera. However, the laser mounts just above it and in line with that camera. And what that does is that sweeper at nighttime, well, also during the day, they as they're coming up on the blue runway marker lights, the lights go in between those sweepers, and the laser helps guide them so that they're not clipping those runway marker lights with the sweepers and ripping them out. So it keeps them online and helps guide them using our laser. This one was just brought to my attention the other day. I've never heard of it. I think this is pretty cool. This is, I believe you guys have street cars with power lines up above that run them. And these trucks, I believe, are modified so that they can de-ice those power lines. However, they're rubber tired, so they're not running on the rail system. So they use our laser to shine down out in front, and the driver uses a spot. He shines the spot down on the rail and uses that to guide him and steer straight. If he goes off too much left or right, he could actually damage those power wires, and they could have downtime and cost and all that. So new application I've never heard of, but again, pretty neat. Here's another one, graffiti water cannon. The driver from the inside, he can't tell where that water cannon is pointing, so they use the laser to shoot on a wall or whatever they're going to blast. And Lisa's going to cue up a movie here. So wherever that laser is pointed, that's where the water is going to hit. And that turret can move up, down, left, right. You know, it's so yeah, again, another different application for laser guidance. All right, truck wash bay. I believe, I don't know the full background on this other than I know they have the laser mounted up top, and as the trucks drive into this wash bay, I think it's either they're using it to, it shoots through their windshield or towards them, so it kind of gives them a visual to keep them on track in line with pulling into that wash bay. Because I believe if they pull in crooked or offline, it could do damage to either the wash bay or the truck.
Yeah, that's exactly correct, Mike. Yep, they keep
Okay.
it centered on the hood. Yeah.
Well, this is what I'm more familiar with. We actually make guidance lasers for road striping trucks, and we have one that actually mounts on top of the cab, and the driver can actually move the spot left, right, forward, back remotely from inside the cab. For the paint striping trucks, once they roll up on where they're going to stripe, it's up to the driver. He'll use his laser to either reference off of edge line or center line. And then we also have lasers in the back that are mounted to the gun carriages, and those shoot out about, I don't know, 10, 15 feet for the operator. And as you can see, like in this picture here, that spot, it's right on the edge, and it helps the operator side shift that gun carriage left, inward or outward, and basically keeping his line straight. Lisa, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about your service, if that's okay.
Sure, absolutely. As Mike, excuse me, as Mike mentioned, we do offer certified services. I think we install a good portion of what we sell in terms of the lasers. We have a crew of a service team, a technical installation team that heads out on the road every day and provides installation services, but not only for installation, for seasonal verification of alignment and operation. We call it a winter light up service. They head out, they check the equipment, they make sure that it's aligned properly or calibrated, to use Mike's term. And so that's a service that we provide as well. Here in the St. Catharines office, we have two offices, one in Burlington and one in St. Catharines. In the St. Catharines office is where our parts and repair center operates from. So, if there's problems with the laser, I think Mike's going to talk quickly as we end things here about maintenance. But certainly if there are repairs that need to take place, it's very efficient to send it back to our office here in St. Catharines, and it gets repaired, certified by LaserLine Manufacturing, and then sent back out to you. So it's a great little advantage we have here in partnership. So we're just coming to the end of a few more slides here.
Yeah, one thing too, I want to, I mean, this is huge for LaserLine. You know, in the past 15, 20 years, if somebody up in Canada had an issue with their laser, they had to ship it to us. Well, shipping cost is really expensive to come across the border, you know, to us and from us to you. And so, you know, you got the extra expense in shipping, and then you also have the extra time, and you know, you have downtime. I mean, it could take 5 days to get here ground and another 5 days to get there, not to mention the repair time. So it could be 3 weeks before you even see your laser again. So with Daikin, it streamlines it. You don't have to pay those expensive shipping costs. You're going to get it back in a timely manner. And yeah, it's been a good thing. Okay, so maintenance. Really, there's only two things that I would really like to concentrate on talking about, and that's the 5-micron filter kit, and there's also a valve replacement, Parker valve replacement. That's going to be the next slide. But these two they kind of go hand in hand. And what I mean by that is some guys will call and say that their Parker valve it's just seized. It no longer pushes air out. And there's a lot of older lasers out there, and prior to us using the 5-micron filter kit, we were using a 40-micron filter. And let's just say it wasn't stopping all the debris, or it wasn't stopping the water or moisture going through. And what happens is, if moisture or debris pass through that filter and go into that Parker valve, over time it will seize, or it will fail. So we do have replacement kits, and so that's what this 5-micron filter kit is. And by the way, this does go out with every kit or every laser now. And what I would recommend is, if you do have a Parker valve that goes bad, let's make sure that you have a 5-micron filter kit, because if you don't, you're going to purchase this Parker valve and it's just going to fail. I can't tell you how soon it would fail, but it's inevitable. It'll fail. All right, so here's the Parker valve. Yeah, it's real simple. You just take the lid off and you cut some wires, and we have a little crimping kit, and you replace that Parker valve. Honestly, you could probably have this thing replaced in about 10 to 15 minutes. All right. Safety tips. I just want to briefly go over this. I mean, a lot of it is just common sense, guys. You know, I mean, you don't want to be, shining this in your buddy's eyes, or, I don't know, if you have cats and you want to play with them, I guess you could do that. Just don't shine it in their face. But bottom line is, don't look directly into the laser spot. You don't want to shine it on, or you don't want to shoot it on shiny surfaces. As I mentioned, don't point the laser at people and or airplanes. Another big one, people do ask, can I mount your laser or a laser inside the cab and shoot it through the windshield? And no, you do not want to shoot it through the windshield. There's several things. Lasers, when they're shooting through really expensive optics, clean optics, when you try and shoot it through a windshield is not an optic. It can actually refract or even bounce back into your eyes, reflect back into your eyes, and it's just dangerous. So we highly suggest, never mount a laser on the inside of a cab. The other, do not open, please don't open up our lasers. As I mentioned earlier, we purge them and then we fill them with dry nitrogen. I have had a lot of people, because they think they're a TV repairman, they can get into our lasers and do some of the repairs on the inside of the housing. And that's not good. Even if it's something simple and they think they fixed it, they're going to put it back up on there and it's going to get moisture in it. And then the whole laser is just dead. It's no good. You'll just have to get it replaced, buy a new one. All right. the warning placard, look, just one more thing. The warning placard to the left, I believe it's a sticker, but you know, if you're operating a laser, you'll want to have this on your truck somewhere. And then whoever the operator or the driver is, they should be carrying these operator laser cards. So yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Awesome. I learned so much. Thank you, Mike. Folks, please post in the chat if you have any additional questions. A couple of them have come up, and we can address them now. How far do you set the laser out? Well, I think, Mike, you have a slide there specifically that shows, you know, based on speed and highway drive. So
can we go back to that, Lisa? Because that's
Sure.
one thing thinking back on it, I totally spaced out. Because the further you have it out, you can actually go faster. Gives you more time to react. So if you see here on the very bottom, it says driving speed, and it says how far the distance of the laser is out from the truck. So for instance, a lot of guys are going to have it out there 40 to 60 feet. So yeah, a good drive, you know, miles per hour, you could go 35 miles per hour. If you're having a hard time seeing it, maybe it's really bright that day, or you just having a hard time seeing it, you know what, maybe bring it inward more. And then, you know, hopefully that'll help. So that was a good question. Most people are running anywhere from, I would say, 30 to 60 feet though.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Thank you for that. Another question we had, I think this came up before you addressed the 2 maintenance tips. So the question was, how often is maintenance required? I think you mentioned the 2 tips for maintenance. You want to address the timing of that?
Yeah, sure. No, that's a good question. I mean, these lasers, they're not like a rotating construction laser where they have to be calibrated every 6 months, you know, maybe once or twice a year. I mean, these are they're just static. It's almost like a flashlight, but it's just, you know, with a, you know, highly, you know, very visible spot. So unless you're having some sort of issue, maybe over time, if you are having a hard time seeing it, yeah, I would say send it in to us, or I'm sorry, send it in to DICAN, and they can do a output power check. And what that does is they put a meter in front of that spot, and it'll tell them if you're getting you know, a full 5 milliwatts of power coming out of that. You know, with time, over a few years. I mean, these lasers are generally lasting anywhere from 7 to 10 years. I've seen some that are, you know, 15 plus years. I mean, gosh, I have
That's a bonus.
I know. I mean, I'm staring at the first road striping laser that we ever sold, and it was to Oregon DOT, and it was sold in June of 2000, and they brought this in, and needless to say, it had to be replaced. But I have the very first laser that we ever sold for this,
Wow.
for this model. So yeah,
More than 20 years. That's incredible value.
yes,
So
it is.
awesome. And you have provided incredible value today, Mike. So thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up here. And I just want to thank you for being our guest host today, our guest presenter, and thanks to everyone on the call who joined us virtually. Just to close off the call today, I'm going to turn off the recording feature and have a look in your email, folks, because you're going to receive in the next few minutes the super quick survey where you can have a chance to win the $100 gift card, the Ultimate Dining gift card. When you complete the survey, you'll automatically be entered. So please check your inboxes. And as well, we're going to make the draw tomorrow. And when we release the recorded video on email to you all, the winner will be announced in that email. So watch your inboxes tomorrow for that as well. So thanks again, everyone. We wish you all good luck in the draw and a great rest of the day. Thanks for joining us.